Hi, today I'm recording a lecture. Good morning. Lecture on the knowledge problem of media. That is week 5. And here there are 2 recommended articles. I'm just having this paper here. So one is by Ross, were producers and audience ever separate? One argument, conceptualizing production as social situation. And another is, you think, are we really doing this? This is the article published in The Guardian. And the first one is the research article published on television and the new media in 2024. The other one is 2021. So these are the 2 major issues that we are discussing today. And more importantly, we're talking about the real knowledge problem here. So I'll just quickly go through that, record this lecture, and then we can discuss, and I will upload this presentation as well along with the recorded article, like in the previous weeks. So what's the knowledge problem in the media? So there are so many things going on. Knowledge problem, many knowledge problem. When there are a scarcity of information, very limited information, and people are not there to verify information. There is no system, no systematic organization. Then also knowledge problem, number one, in the past, hundreds of years ago, centuries ago. And at present, when there is a lot of information, and then we have problem with which information is accurate, which needs verification, which is complete information. This is another problem. So everywhere there in each kind of time zone or situation or the epoch of history, we can have some kind of knowledge problem. Here I can show you a gradual development of the media theories and the role of audience in those theories and how knowledge problem is associated with that. In the beginning, I will talk you about the passive audience and some passive audience theories. Here, this model, you can see speaker, speech, audience, effect. This model is by Aristotle around 2,500 years ago. And then what he thought, when there is a speaker and there are some message to speak and there are some audience to listen, and then that creates some kind of effect. The king gives some kind of order to the subjects or army or some people, and then they have to obey that. That's it. So, and these people, those subjects, they don't react or comment or compromise or confront the king's order. So it is a kind of directly one-way traffic. It's going linear way, and there is no a cyclical communication behavior. I mean, audience is not expected to speak again. No confrontation, nothing like that. So this is a passive audience theory. What is the knowledge problem here? Audience are considered to be a passive object, just the recipient. They don't have their mind. They're just the object which obey your message order. That's it. So knowledge problem created by this kind of incomplete understanding or misunderstanding, let's say. Here you can see another media theory that we call magic bullet theory or hypodermic needle theory. This theory assumes once some media produces some message, propagates some message, or broadcasts some message, public immediately believe that. This theory was developed in 1938 based on a radio drama broadcast from a television, a radio in the United States. And then the drama was about how Martian people are coming and attacking American public and creating a havoc. And this drama was in a news bulletin format, and people really believe that it's a news bulletin rather than drama. And so people started leaving the city, and there was a crowd creating a huge havoc. And because of that, people assumed, scholars of the time assumed that media is so effective, so powerful, that people immediately are persuaded on that, and then they become the victim of the situation. So what is the knowledge problem here? I mean, the problem is they overemphasize the power of media. Radio is not that much powerful. And then they forget that the audience also are the rational people. Yes, in one incident, they escaped. They left the city, they abandoned it, they tried to run out from the scenario. But it's not happening all the time. This is why this theory also assumes the audience are the object, a passive object, and they don't have any kind of rational mind. This is the problem here. Cultivation theory, another theory we can discuss in the history of mass communication theories. Here, Judge Gabner, another researcher, philosopher, he studies on the effects of television, and in 1960s, he argued that when similar kind of messages or different kind of messages are coming through television gradually one by another, selective exposure coming from different sources and coming through television, and people are those who are receiving the television content. He categorized them heavy viewers and light viewers. Those who are viewing television content more than certain hours, gradually they develop a different kind of perception that the world is dangerous, the world is negative, the world is not a safe place. So this kind of syndrome, this kind of assumption comes there, and this he terms as the mean world syndrome, meaning the world is worse than it is. So this kind of perception, these people gradually start to cultivate. So, and television also, they have the dominant set of values, and they promote these values. So these are the ideas. Long-term exposures to media content, especially television, can shape audience perceptions of reality, and that reality is different than the actual reality. So this understanding also has some kind of knowledge problem. So here also, audience is passive. Audience are the object, passive objects, and they are simply recipient of the television information and content, and they don't react. They don't have the rational mind. So the problem with these theories, different theories, is that audience are very much passive things, and they don't react because they don't have a rational mind. This misunderstanding or incomplete understanding is the problem in media. And agenda setting theory. Agenda setting theory also say that there is one reality. People are with the media of different kind, television or newspapers or radio or whatever else. And people gradually started believing that, oh, the world is not so much good place either, or media, the way media shows it, because most of the news media promote negative as like the slogan, negative is news. So agenda setting theory, whatever agenda media brings or introduces, people believe that. So this assumption is with this agenda. Media doesn't tell people what to think, but rather what to think about. So people are thinking about the possible early election in Canada because media is promoting these agendas. People are thinking about the mortgage, the bank interest rate cuts, because these are the agendas of the media they are promoting time and again, and amount and type of the media coverage. So, and then there are some priming and framing, how you want to frame the story in a positive light, in a negative light, focusing on certain aspects of things, or selecting a particular time to push this content further so that you can have this kind of engagement. So audience are here also, audience are somehow passive, not very active. It's a moderate. So the problem is when media sets agenda, people start thinking after the media, meaning here also audience are somehow passive. But the problem is now there are so many media, digital media, analog media, print media, and people are choosy across different media, and people have their own rational. This is missing here. So every theories are leaving some kind of gaps or misunderstanding or misinterpretations of the audience understanding. So this is how we can come up again to see here is also some kind of knowledge problem. Another is the spiral of silence theory. So this theory is proposed by Elizabeth Neumann in 1972 German election, in 74 German election, and published in 1974. And people influence one another's willingness to express opinion through social interaction. Individuals become confident if their opinions are endorsed, retweeted, shared by other people. People are become a little passive or want to hide or hibernate if their opinions are criticized badly, or if they become very much unpopular or nobody comments on that. So key component, an issue of the public interest, divisiveness of the issue, fear of isolation, changed behavior in social interaction. So because of that, for example, if my opinions are not interested so much, I don't want to speak further. Or if my opinions are criticized so badly, then what I do, I try to be mute. Why it is? It's the spiral of silence theory. But whether this spiral of silence theory applicable in the social media platform where people can hide their identity and start criticizing Donald Trump, American President Joe Biden, or Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, or whosoever. So the situation is different now. One theory works sometime, maybe it is good, but after some time, because of the technology, because of the timing, because of the people's understanding, maybe the theory doesn't work. That's the problem. So we should understand. And here, what is are something common among all these theories? Actually, this question is for you. But the something common here is misunderstanding of the audience power, misinterpretation of the audience power. Audience are not always passive. Audience are active, and they're choosy, and they interpret, and they have their own rational mind. But this fact is underestimated, and the media's power is overestimated in the theory that we discuss here. And here are some key features across different theories here, based on the observation of limited events rather than empirical studies. So these theories were developed based on some limited observations of events and exaggerated media power, like magic bullet theory or even the cultivation theory. All were new media, radio, TV, and mass culture are gradually evolving. Mean every media one was introduced was considered a new media, and gradually that became familiar, and then people started developing a kind of culture or norm along with the media, like newspaper became a part of the culture, or radio or television become part of the culture, social media is becoming a part of culture. Maybe AI tools also will become a part of culture now. So undermine the power of the audience. Yeah, this is very much true, that they consider audience is very passive, and there is no reaction, no confrontation. They don't have the rational mind. Not much in research on audience role, interest. And so this is the gap, the knowledge problem. And here, active audience theory, there are some active audience theory. In this theory, when a speaker speaks, audience listens, and audience starts speaking, and the speaker listens. So here's the source. This guy speaks here. Encoding means collecting some words, what to speak, and then there is a message, maybe speaking in Chinese or Mandarin or English or French or Latin, and then decoding that, and the receiver is there to decode and then understand the message, and the receiver becomes the speaker again, and then the same process applies. And so when two person is there and they start communicating or talking to each other, so one person speaks, another answers, another person speaks, the person answers. So it is a kind of cycling process, like it's playing a volleyball in both sides. And then here is a paradigm shift. Paradigm shift in the sense the early theories were considering audience is a passive, non-reactive, just an object, a recipient, to active audience, giving some kind of contribution to the dialogue, making communication more engaging, and creating a meaning in a very collaborative efforts. So this is the difference between the early theories and the later theories. So paradigm shift from, look at here, media feeding the audience, like cultivation theory too. Here on the top, the top right corner, you can see a girl is controlling media, becoming a user, content creator. So, and it's what we call user-generated content. So they are producing content. So there is a huge paradigm shift. They had no voice too. They have full of voice. They had no control too, full of control. And media were deciding the issues in the past. Now audience are deciding the issues, and media are solving the issues accordingly. And there are so many alternative media, different platforms. If one media ignores one segment of society, another media pick up them. So the chances of missing some voices or ignoring some voices are very minimal. Still, there are some issues we have to discuss. Here, two-step flow theory. The one-step flow theory was the magic bullet theory. When the radio broadcast the bulletin, even though it was a part of the program, entertainment program, people believe that. From that point of view, too, the two-step flow theory, people don't believe radio. They believe the local community leaders, meaning when media broadcasts some kind of information, publishes some kind of information, people still want to confirm that with the one they know. Maybe teachers or politicians or social leaders and some other kind of people that they believe and they trust. So media's content were verified and received. So it's a two-step flow theory. So first step, media disseminates content. Second step, opinion leader redisseminate and endorse the, interpret the content and confirm the content. And audience are a bit skeptic here with the media role and are looking for someone to ensure the content broadcast from media is true. So in this theory, audience is little active. And here, if you go to the usage and gratification theory, this theory also came in the during the end of the 1960s. It says when there are multiple media, newspaper, radio, and television were there, when there are multiple media, people become choosy. They watch, they see how things are going on. And so they can find, okay, yes, everything is good. They select the certain media. It's not necessarily they always follow television. This is not necessarily they always follow newspapers. They select the media and then they select the particular content. So usage and gratification, once they satisfy with that, and then they use another kind of media, another kind of content. And here are three-step flow theory. First, the magic bullet theory. The media says, people believe. And second, two-step flow theory. Mass media says, people don't believe it right away. People want to confirm that through social leaders. So a little active, more active theory. And another third-step flow theory, it means mass media says something, social leader endorse or confirm that on and post on their social media. CBC says something, or BBC says something, and Justin Trudeau or Justin Bieber or someone else post on social media, whether endorsing or confronting on that. And the followers believe that, not the original media content. And reception theory is another theory that says the recipients are active to receive what kind of message. So if recipients are not happy with some content, they simply reject or ignore that. They don't care. They confront it. If they like the content, they accept it. If they don't like, they reject it. So here, media producers are encoding message, considering the interest of the audience, but not necessarily that audience must endorse the content. Audience can confront the content as well. So here, there are three kinds of media text. One, dominant media text means Audience believe that content. So some information, factual information coming, audience believe it. Negotiated content mean the media says something, people believe something, but there is some middle point. Yes, one aspect, this is okay. So the Excel pipeline, what is, I forget the exact name, Canadian pipeline, and that goes to all the way down to Texas. And then there is a refinery, and this sand oil goes there, and then this refined. And because of this extra long pipeline system, Canada earns a lot of money. Mixed reaction. Some people believe that, some people ignore that, some people confront that. So maybe that can damage the indigenous heritage, that can make a lot of profit, win-win. So this kind of content may be negotiated, and oppositional content, some kind of narratives or rhetoric, people simply ignore it. So the same media content, people can accept it, people can react in a very mixed method way, or people can simply reject it. Media texts have no fixed meaning. Instead, people are making meaning on that. There's some opinion, there's some news, hard news that is published, but people can create some kind of meaning. What kind of meaning is that? So people are the one who are the decisive. So this reception theory assumes that audience are very active, very choosy, very rational. They're not like very passive and just passive recipient. And death of author, here you can see two pictures. The death of author is an article by Roland Barthes, a French philosopher. He assumes that once you write, the meaning-making process goes to audience. So author wants to say something, but author is already out of the context because the book is published and book is already with the hand of some unknown reader. They never know about author. They read the book and they want to interpret the book in the way they want. They know, they are familiar with their context, their culture. So that's completely different. Then what is the original motive of the author? So there is a detachment. Media content also is like this. Somebody produced some movie, somebody produced some television series, and people are watching it and then writing a review the way they want to. Are they familiar with, or they know? And there is no role of the original director producers, because this is completely detached. So death of author idea can give that there is a lot of misunderstanding between the media content and the recipients. Here you can see, so some artists develop this picture, and you can be impressed by seeing this as a dog or hair. We don't know. But which comes first is what is imprinted in your mindset. That comes first. Here in this picture, 7 or 5, both perspectives are correct, but you must be in the right side. And then you count. You can do it. Either way is right. So media content also like this. People can interpret the way they want to based on their cultural, social, religious, economic context. And they're right. Here is another picture. It has two figures, one young lady and one old lady, both portrayed, head face, head shot. What do you want to see? If you want to see old lady, you can see. If you want to see young lady, you can see. Takes time, but you will find it. And here, whether you see this as a base or there are two faces, face to face, it's up to us. So is the media content. This is why knowledge problem in media depends on the active resurgence of the audience. Audience are active. Audience are today. Audience are generating content. They are content generator. Audience are decisive, and media they also have their own limitations. Audience also have their own preferences. Audience don't care of the media institution's role. Audience, they have their own mindset, their own background, their own education. They want to interpret the way they want to. And media has to know the audience preferences today. So the gap between media's understanding and the audience preference is called the knowledge problem. Here we can see the Bible. Somebody want to see the Bible, consider Bible as the holy book. Some others see Bible as the literature. Some others see Bible as the real history. It's up to them. Those Roman Catholics or Protestant or true Christians, maybe they're seeing Bible as the holy book and the God's message. And those others who's a little more Marxist, socialist type of, and they don't believe in the God and whatever this kind of stuff, they see Bible as a literature. Simply a good stories are there. Some other people think, okay, no, this is a history of some good guy in the past, something like that. So this depends on, the perspective depends on audience. In the past, the perspective used to depend on the media runners, editors, producers, directors, investors. Here, in 2006, considering the growing role of the media on digital platforms, especially on web pages, Time magazine announced computer and people, those using computer or ICT devices, as you as the person of the year, because you are the content generator. You are the one who are making content, and that is being promoted and produced and distributed in different segments of society. Audience and digital platform are more active than compared to all the past theories. So past theories, recipient theory said something, death of author concept said something, but on digital platform, audience are further more active, increasingly interactive. Message, email, social media handles, whatever, sharing, comments, liking, viewing, global access, 24-hour availability, multiple language translation service, multimedia content, audio, textual, visual, animation, graphics, everything together to ensure the confirmation of the meaning. And blogs, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, so many social media platforms, all are contributing something. So audience and digital platform are doing this. So here today, we're talking in relation to these two articles here, a Ross article and Tait article. Ross article focused more on the user-generated content and producers and prosumers concept. And the other one, Tait's article, is about the television program, unconventional television program. And here, public engagement continuum, how much you want to engage. The more you want to engage on the media production, media receptions, and the audience or the users, then there will be less gap of the knowledge. So less knowledge problem. But if you are simply informing the public, less consulting, less involving, then there will be more knowledge problem, because every person is empowered to be a content creator. And here are some of the questions. When there are generative AI tools, chatbots, what's the role of the audience? Here's the question for you. Are they active? Will they be passive? Because chatbots are creating content for you and you become passive, or you become active because you want to control them. What's your thought? So this is the part of the question we have to discuss in the class. My point of view is, if you say, now audience are confused, what to do? What next? Teachers are confused with the role of the students, how the students are creating content in the classroom. We don't know. And here, the first article, audience on prosumers, and then he said, were producers and audience ever separate? This is the question, conceptualizing media production and social situation. Philip Ross, one of the professors of this university, and right now he's the director of the Department of Communication, head of the department. He's saying producers and audience were not separate in the ever. Even now, there are user-generated content and there is a constant connection on digital platform. But in the past also, producers had some kind of imaginative audience in their mind. So they consider some kind of audience in their mind and produce content targeting this audience. This is the idea here. So producer prosumers mean, and look at the spelling, user-generated content introduces a producer, mean, not producer and user together. So it's a hybrid word, dynamic, where users are both content creator and consumers. And he situates the UGC within the active, passive, and participation interaction dimensions of the audience theory. Despite user-generated content's participatory potential, passive consumption and inequalities in participation remain. So content, producer, content, audience. And so producer plus consumer, prosumer. So this is how the word is being treated here. Overview. This article explores the blurred boundaries between media producers and audience and questions if they were separate ever. And it critiques social theory that overstated the separation of media production and reception in the past. No. And he said imaginative audience were always in the mind of the producers. And then he draws some ideas from Goffman and Merowitz. It proposes a new model for production of the social situation involving producer orientation towards an absent audience. Author argues that production involves tacit audience knowledge, reflexivity, and shared social experience. And because of that, there is no 100% detachment between audience and the producers. And here are some clear arguments by the author. The distinction between producer and audience has been overstated, particularly in media production studies. They're not that much separate. How much is being discussed these days? Producers operate with the imagined audience based on their social experience, integrating their reflexivity in media production. When I'm making a film, I want to target with certain audience, either students or mid-career people or the very senior people or old age people, certain audience. And these are in my mind, that is imagined audience. And so I'm targeting them. So this is the idea here. And media production is a social situation that inherently involves interaction with an absent third party, the audience. A model challenges the binary of production and reception, suggesting they're not mutually exclusive, but interdependent role. And finally, here are some key terms I just want to show here. The prosumer meaning here, producers meaning here, imagined audience meaning here, structured break meaning here, social situation meaning here. So these are the key terminology used in this article. And critical analysis of this, with AI tools now generating media content, the boundary between human producers and audience become more ambiguous, confused, making Ross' argument about the false dichotomy more relevant. As AI platform like ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini are designed with imagined audience based on the algorithmic prediction, echoing Ross' argument. So the algorithmic platforms also is considering some kind of audience, targeting that. These are called imagined audience. The rise of AI shift production dynamics, potentially undermining the role of human producers' social experience in favor of data-driven audience construction. And here are some questions for discussion. And I'm going to the second article published on Guardians. So this article is more focused on television program, and then there are problem of making a new kind of unconventional program. If they produce new kind of program, and there is a problem of who invested, how to convince the investor, number one, and how to convince the audience, number two. And so what is the guarantee that this program becomes popular? That's the problem. So you think, are we really doing this? How TV's strangest show gets made. Something unique program when TV producers want to produce, then there's problem. And problem, what is problem? Knowledge problem. Whether people like it or not, there are no survey, no study, but still some strangest programs are being made. And so there is a very nice reportage of this new kind of program. Here, I'll give you some example. This is just American Idol in 2024. Abby Carter, see the winner. Here is the YouTube link. If you go and watch, it's brilliant. And then once they watch her performance, they say, oh, she can be the winner, and she won. Another part, there is a huge criticism in this article, Tait's article. The Korean TV program producer say that whatever program they make, most of these kind of programs are just based on the face. If they're beautiful, handsome, smart looking, and behaving like this, and rather than the quality of their singing, they win because they garner more votes. And here, American Idol, maybe some participants might have been won in that manner. And then to challenge that, there is another little more fair competition coming. That is the voice program. You can see here the voice program. One of the samples is given here in this YouTube link. One guy sings a lot and nobody turns. Here in the stage, a singer, the candidate should sing the song in a very nice way, and audience or the 4 or 5 judges, they just turn their back, and then they're not looking, not facing the candidate. They're just looking and trying to listen to the sound and quality and everything. And then if they agree with that and they come back, they turn their face and they say, I want you, right? A little fair, but from the second round onwards, again, the face is there voting, and the people they just love the face. And again, the same problem. Here, the third kind of program, Masked Singer. This is the idea that this author starts discussing with the Korean producer, and the Korean producer brought this idea. If the audience comes with a completely covered face and bodies, and so that nobody recognize this person, rather he or she can sing nicely, maybe that can be more neutral. And in the beginning, this program was criticized and underestimated, rejected, but later on it became so much popular. And by night, it became a very hit. And there are more than 56 other programs in different countries are created based on this concept. So key arguments in the article, the overall strangest television shows are on the making. But these unconventional TV shows ideas are often face rejection due to their novelty and lack of immediate comprehension. I mean, people don't understand the idea. Investors especially, and television also, they don't allow this kind of program. Success depends on a single decision maker willing to take a risk on imaginative pitches. Many successful shows defy initial skepticism, highlighting the unpredictable nature of television entertainment. Commissioners play a critical role in shaping and refining ideas to align with viewers' preference and market trends. And justification of the audience argument here. The Masked Singer, for example, initially faced rejection before becoming a global success. And there are some other programs like Google Bucks and The End of Civilization, but later became a popular show with a royal fan base. And Danny Fenton's elaborate hidden camera piece for the prank show failed, showing the risk of unconventional. This is another important program failed. I Wanna Marry Harry was a great greenlit in a day, showing how quickly a bizarre idea can gain traction. So knowledge problem in the media, in general, media executives struggles to recognize innovative concepts, reflecting gaps in media knowledge and their foresight. What is the new preference of audience? So it is very hard. So this is the gap we are talking. The difficulty of predicting audience reception shows limits in the media industry's understanding of viewer preference. Success stories like The Masked Singer illustrate how media systems filter creative ideas, emphasizing power dynamics. And this knowledge problem highlights the tension between creativity and commercial viability in media production. Creativity in one hand, commercial viability is another, and the understanding of the audience preferences. Nobody invests on that. This is the major problem. And how relevant is this article? Published in 2021, I believe, right? So AI could further widen the gap between creative pitches and algorithmic-driven content recommendation, number one. Automated media production tools may struggle to identify emotional or cultural nuances that drive human engagement with unusual shows. The unpredictability of media success challenges AI predictive models for viewer preference. AI might offer new ways to refine and test creative media concept, helping decision makers to make more informed. Now, in the age of AI, we don't know the audience now, how they are perceiving the AI tools' role, and how AI tools are changing behaviors of the potential audience. So when you are making program tomorrow, either you broadcast that from television or live stream from Netflix and Prime, Amazon Prime, the problem is the same. And here are some of the sample questions: innovation versus marketability, role of rejection. What are the factors associated with that simplicity in pitching? Sometimes simple ideas also are making a huge contribution and they become by night hit. And what's the future of television? So when we are discussing on these questions again, the gap of knowledge between audience and producers, this become evident. So there are some sample questions for the seminar as well. So we can consider those questions. Thank you very much for this presentation. So watch it twice, and then I will upload the presentation as well on the Brightspace, and read it and very carefully, see the questions carefully, and be prepared accordingly. And let's see you on coming Friday. Thank you.